Long shots, the long take, or the one shot, whatever you might call it, they're everywhere nowadays. Some films want you to notice it, and some films don't. The Revenant and Birdman, both films directed by Alejandro González Iñárritu, uses this style to tell grand stories. Whereas the style fits both films, it's rather unmemorable in my opinion. There are so many films that I saw in 2015 that had some long takes, which were rather unspectacular. That is a word, right? Unspectacular? The Avengers Age of Ultron opens with one. It connects the team towards their objectives, with the camera being the common element between the characters. But is it memorable? No, not at all. I didn't even realize it until I recently rewatched the film. Why? If this shot was shown in the 80s or 90s, it would be the single greatest thing since sliced bread, and sliced bread is pretty excellent. Are we getting desensitized to these spectacular feats? Maybe, but there's more to it than just getting desensitized. What is the difference between this, the opening 3-minute shot from Touch of Evil, and Age of Ultron's opening sequence? Well, Touch of Evil is actually one long take. Age of Ultron's opening is a combination of shots and takes and plates. No, not those plates. Now, to shamelessly promote myself, here's an example of a plate with me in it. This is from a competition, the Moga video game competition, which we won, might I add. My great friend and even greater editor Michael McWhorter directed this commercial. Now, in this shot, I am part of the plate. The bullet is the added element. So now that you know this information, why is the latter shot of Age of Ultron, or even the whole film, Birdman, not mind-blowing? Watching Touch of Evil, the opening shot is still incredibly impressive. Why? Well, for one, the human eye, when working in tandem with the human brain, is hard to deceive. The audience can tell that there's some trickery going on here. I saw Les Miserables with a friend of mine, and she could tell that the Anne Hathaway's Oscar-winning scene was a single take. I doubt she would say the same for the Avengers. Let's see, Touch of Evil's long take starts off with a vital element to the shot, the time bomb. It ends with, of course, the blowing up of that said bomb, cause and effect. In Age of Ultron, it's just to show that the Avengers are, the Avengers. Now we've narrowed it down to saying that the single take needs to have a point. All the technicality and cool stuff won't make the audience care. The proof is this mind-blowing scene from Kingsmen, which is also cut to look seamless. It's not a single shot, but it looks like one with a lot of whip pans and crash zooms, and compositing, of course. But why do I care for this rather than the other one? Well, like Touch of Evil, this had a point, to show off the power of Valentine's virus and the Kingsmen's training. No, not that training, this training. Another great example of a long shot with purpose is the famous Copacabana shot from Goodfellas. It solidifies Henry Hill's growth in the mafia, and we are watching his wife being introduced to his world. You see that? That's purpose. It furthers both characters. Whether you're Orson Welles or not, your long shot needs to have a point. Again, just to prove that I'm not ragging on Age of Ultron, let's look at the first Avengers. The amazing traveling shot throughout New York shows our Avengers working together, side by side, after bickering like little girls earlier. So yeah, not hating on Age of Ultron. Ultron for president. Some one takes are just too unrealistic, man. Look at this shot in San Andreas. There's no way a cameraman would say yes to shoot this. There are others. Let's look at Gravity. I've said it before, the CGI was more game-breaking to Gravity than the cinematography. This shot is cool and artsy and all, but there's no way a camera can get into Sandra Bullock's helmet. This shot commits 3 sins: the unrealistic aspect, the obvious but very well hidden trickery of stitching the shots, and finally making us hear Sandra Bullock's voice clearer.
Woof woof. Oh. Woo woo. Oh. Oh. Woo woo. Woof. Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oversaturation. You see a long take everywhere nowadays, man, in the randomest of movies. These things used to be works of art, and they still are, but seeing it over and over and over does lose some of its mystique. And finally, I find the camera being static here in Les Miserables much more impressive than... yeah, I'm going to pick on Ultron again. Well, in Age of Ultron, if something went wrong, they could fix it in post-production. If they messed up a single thing in Les Miserables shot, they would have to do it all over again. Now think about it. Hathaway would have to sing that song all over again. That to me is much more impressive from a filmmaking standpoint than just fixing it in a computer. Goodfellas, they did that Copacabana shot 9 times. They got it wrong 8 times. The fact that they did it 9 times impresses me. The fact that they can fix this shot in a computer is impressive, but not as impressive as this. The filmmakers are relying on the safety of production rather than pushing themselves. So you beautiful people watching this video, let me know in the comments below, do you think that the one shot or the long take is dead? Sound off below, but if you want my opinion, it sure seems like it. As usual people, if you enjoyed this video, I just ask for a few things. If you think a couple of your friends will enjoy this video and information, feel free to share it, and then feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. Both things are free to do. Thank you so much for watching, remember to love yourselves, and I'll be seeing you again very, very soon. Sayonara.